Hey everyone, Genevieve here to talk about our upcoming new moon in the sign of Pisces, and that is going to occur Thursday evening here on the East Coast at around 7:45 p.m. Now, just prior to that, the moon will enter Pisces around 3:45 a.m. So the moon will be in the sign of Pisces for about a day before it's considered exactly new. And we've talked about this before, but of course, new moons are also known as void moons or black moons because you can't see them at all. And this is the beginning of a new lunar cycle. So, of course, the sun has been in Pisces for about a week or so now. So, we already have started to feel the shift from Aquarian energy to Pisces energy. This chart, however, is fully weighted in water. So it's not mostly all the action with this chart. And again, I always share it in the comments after I post the video. Is very heavily weighted in water. So all you water signs are going to be feeling this. Most of those signs are in Pisces, though. Most of those planets are in Pisces. So this is definitely a Pisces vibe, okay? We really don't have any aspects to Scorpio again either. So it's going to be Cancer. It's going to feel this a little bit. So if you have prominent placements in Pisces or Cancer, you're going to feel this the most. We also do have five planets or aspects in fire. That's going to help to give us a little bit of energy and to kind of not feel completely drowned by this watery new moon. Three in air, but only one in earth, which means we might have some difficulty grounding ourselves. So, again, that is what my essential oil blends that I create for the moon cycles are for. It's my blend for this Pisces new moon. It's called Dreamweaver. And so this not only is going to help work with the Piscean energy, it's also going to help effectively ground you, keep you calm, and when those watery emotions start to get a little bit out of hand. So let's jump right into this. Now, I mentioned that everything is very, very heavily weighted. There are a couple of planets in Aries, but then, there aren't really any aspects to any of the other signs. There's one, Neptune, or I'm sorry, Pluto is still in Aquarius. No aspects to Aquarius here. No aspects to Leo. No aspects, even though we have Lilith in Libra, there's no aspects to Lilith. And so, yeah, it's going to be Pisces, Aries are going to be feeling this the most. Also, just a little bit of tension with Cancer and Gemini and Taurus, okay? But mostly, actually, the aspects with Taurus are good. So, now, just FYI, I've been starting to kind of remind you the organs, the parts of the body associated with Pisces, you need to be on your guard against injury or just take extra precautions of your, in this case, sorry, I'm looking it up again, your pineal gland, which actually is part of your endocrine system that regulates your circadian rhythm and the release of melatonin in your body. So sleep helps with sleep. So be on the guard, or just be aware that part of your body, that organ, is going to be activated. Also, feet and toes. So be careful not to injure your feet, your toes, the bones or tendons in them at this time. Okay, just be extra cautious with those parts of your body. So back to this Pisces new moon. Everything is happening in Pisces with this moon, okay? We have the sun, moon, Mercury, Saturn, and Neptune are all in Pisces. Venus is in Aries still, Mars is in Cancer still, Jupiter is still in Gemini. Of course, Uranus is still in Taurus, Pluto is still in Aquarius. So all of the action with this chart are happening with those inner planets, and they're all right there, okay? So, now we talked about how Aquarius has two rulers, or co-ruled by two different planets, right? One thing I never realized, because I always have paid attention to more to the modern ruler, or I'm sorry, the traditional ruler of Pisces, which is Neptune. But Pisces is actually co-ruled by Jupiter as well. So Jupiter rules Sagittarius, but it also co-rules Pisces, which is an interesting little tidbit, and that's going to kind of play into this chart a little bit. Um, so with our sun in Pisces, this is going to lend to imagination, creativity, like just a dreamy quality about those several days, but also some indecision and excessive sensitivity. With Jupiter having the influence that it's going to have here, we're going to have themes of social justice, of a conscious desire to help others, okay, which is all very good. It's very a Piscean theme. Now, of course, right now, the sun and the moon are conjunct. The moon is in Pisces as well. Moon in Pisces is going to help us with problem solving, with open expression, artistic and spiritual expression, all right? This energy is going to lead to good compromise. Expression is serious and open. This energy is a great time for being hosts, being wonderful hosts, being constructive and practical in conversation, in ideas, in suggestions. All right. There is a little bit of a passive energy to this moon in Pisces. So it's kind of like a wait and see what's going to happen rather than going out and to make it happen. And unfortunately, with Mars in Cancer, even though it is now going to direct, or it's actually going to go direct just before this new moon, there's going to be a little bit of hesitation on the action front, okay? It's going to be kind of a sit back, wait and see what's going to happen vibe. Because that's definitely very Pisces, like just kind of chill normally, right? So with our sun in Pisces, we have a trine with Mars, and again, Mars is in Cancer. So this is a great time to set and to reach goals, to be assertive and competitive. It does lead to a little bit of impatience, though. Um, Mercury, the sun is square Jupiter, and this square is actually not such of a bad square because it's leading to some idealism, travel, but there is kind of a questionable support or interest in questionable causes under this influence, and also a lack of commitment or follow through. All right. Now this energy is definitely this energy is extremely sensitive, perceptive of surroundings, okay, but usually what sits back and observes rather than gets really involved. There's a lot of third eye stimulation going on with this, mystics, artistic and spiritual again, but it's a passive, it's a more of a sit back and wait and allow things to happen rather than actively participating. So with the moon square Jupiter, now this is gonna lend to a little bit of neediness in emotions, and from relationships. And again, it's that watery, that sensitivity, needing some extra care, comfort. This it lends to a little bit of introverted and reclusive energy. Um, Also, deep spiritual practices at this time can help us get through any difficulties, any kind of, you know, a little unstable or upsetting emotions. Okay. There is sort of an issue with, again, being dependent on external circumstances and needing to find one's own purpose rather than following the purpose of what others have told you your purpose is, if that makes sense. Okay. So we do have a conjunction with Saturn, with the moon in Pisces, and Saturn, again, Saturn's in Pisces is now as well. So this adds to really honest and stable way of going about things, even under difficulties. And so, because of that, this energy might lend people to seem cold and reserved. And it's not because they don't care, it's because they don't trust their emotions, all right? So, like me with my Pisces moon, adds to the fact with my Aquarius sun that it's not that we don't feel emotions, we don't trust them and we don't trust ourselves to express them appropriately. Um, this might be a time to find older, more mature, more stable, more well established partners to work with and in romantic relationships. So, again, this is going to go back to that kind of difficulty with expressing feelings. So you're just going to need to work with, especially with our communication planet in Gemini, um, to really work how to more openly communicate your feelings without being on the defense. Okay, just to say this is what it is. So now Mercury, our communication, is in Pisces as well. So this is going to lend again more of that mysticism and also psychology, speaking with emotions, um, ideals, and solutions in these aspects, and ideas will arise with little effort. But because of that, with this placement, it's sometimes hard to trust ourselves. This is your intuition talking to you. And there is a tendency with people who get these flashes of intuition, insight, knowledge, ideas to not trust it because it almost seems as if it's not coming from our own mind. It's an intelligence that is not coming from within us. Well, that is called spiritual guidance. And again, to all my Pisces who say that you are not spiritual, you are, you just might not attribute it to that, because you are being guided and you are getting flashes of inspiration and genius and ideas from another source outside of yourself. But you trust that because you know it innately. And that is a little bit of a challenge with the Piscean energy, okay? Um, so we definitely have to kind of work on that, and allowing, when you feel those sense of genius, idea, or intuition, or knowledge, accept it, embrace it. It's yours. It's not something that you made up. You know it, and share it. Okay. Um, so Mercury in Pisces is also, we're all conjunct right here. We're all within a couple of degrees from each other. So there is more of the sense for detail and methodical planning, practical thinking, practical minds. But again, this goes back to trusting yourself and trusting your abilities, whether they are abilities that you were born with, you're naturally gifted with, or you have learned and then honed. Trust that. That is who you are, and that is your purpose. And so you are stable and you are strong. Just because your emotions guide your judgment doesn't mean that the knowledge and the skill that you have that comes from that emotion is something to be distrusted. Okay. So, moving on, we have Mercury sextile Uranus, and Uranus is in Taurus still. So, this leads to more discovery and invention. It's definitely highlighted under this new moon phase, or this void moon. New technologies, exchange of opinion and ideas with others. Yes, sometimes that will lead to arguments. But there's nothing wrong with an argument as long as you're able to state yourself clearly and also learn to agree to disagree. Okay, now Mercury is also, again, we're conjunct with Neptune. This is going to lead even more to that intuition, that kind of a fantasy world, maybe mystic abilities, large, very large, grand worldview, and idealistic thinking. Okay, however, that does lend a little bit to having some difficulties with coping with the practical, the everyday, the mundane things that need to get done. Thinking, speaking, and highlighting. Thinking, speaking, and communication is highlighted at this time for sure. You definitely want to guard against the tendency for escapism, whatever way that may be. Again, getting kind of stuck in a fantasy world or withdrawing so much. And you definitely want to withdraw and take care of yourself when need be, but also you don't want to escape completely or completely shut the outside world out. So be on guard if you have a tendency to do that. Now, Venus is in Aries. Venus just recently went direct in Aries. So we already talked about that kind of Venus and Aries energy, impulsive, impatient. Um, it's actually going to soon to retrograde. Actually, I apologize. I had that backwards. It's going to go retrograde soon. So anything that happened over the last month with that Venus Pisces or that Venus Aries energy, all the retrogrades mean that you're going to be treading over some of the familiar grounds that you recently just went through. But that gives you a chance to go back and fix any issues in that department, okay? Now, we do have Venus and Mars squared each other. Venus and Mars are opposed, and Mars is in Cancer, which just went direct in Cancer. This again leads to some being easily offended, unbalanced emotions. Sometimes, unfortunately, friends become enemies would seemingly very quickly over very minor things. Impulsive energy, wanting or expecting the impossible from people, and then also initially having excitement about something, but then quickly losing interest. All right. So it's almost as if Venus and Aries are in this other sign that they should be. Like Mars should be in Aries, Venus should be in Cancer, and one went forward and one is now going back. And there's that tension there. That is actually the biggest problem, child, again, in this chart is that Venus and Mars thing going on. The biggest challenge, again, I should say, problem child, this is giving us the biggest challenge of this astrological few days over this new moon. But again, with Venus going retrograde, it's going to give us a chance to go back and fix those issues, or to readdress those issues and course correct a little bit where need be. There is a trine with Jupiter and Gemini, which is going to kind of help out in this situation, which is going to lend us all to be a little bit more kinder, more cordial, more easily adaptable. Again, highlighting some hospitality, generosity, and it's also a very useful aspect in legal disputes, okay? So Jupiter and Gemini, there you go. Now let's address this Mars in Cancer. It's kind of the same energy. Doesn't like being in Cancer very much. It's throwing water on fire in any situation. Very moody kind of energy to this. And once again, nobody really knows what Mars in Cancer wants, because Mars in Cancer just doesn't know how to express it. Okay. We do. Once again, we have a trine. We talked about this trine with the sun and the moon, square Venus. It's also trine Saturn. So this is going to help us kind of get out of the more moody and emotional aspect of this by lending more energy towards hard work, tireless effort, entrepreneurial spirits, a very organized mind and work ethic. Not liking to take risks, not liking to step outside of the box. Because of that, because of those kind of more strict parameters, is able to more easily deal with challenges as they present themselves, because everything is already organized and they know exactly which toolbox that particular tool they need to face that challenge is. Okay. So, and again, Jupiter and Gemini is the same. Nothing has changed. All of these planets are still in the same signs. We have that square with the moon and the trine with Venus. Saturn is still in Pisces. Unfortunately, this is where Saturn, the disciplinarian, and the taskmaster, which co-rules Capricorn and Aquarius, this is the disciplinarian and is going to make you feel pain to get your attention to a matter that needs resolving. Okay. So if this could be physical pain, this could be emotional pain, this could be pain, there's a financial issue pops up out of the blue. This is going to cause problems only for people who are not prepared for it. Okay. So I'm recording this and letting you know to be prepared for it. There is a trine to Uranus and Taurus with this, so this is going to lend to that practicality, inventiveness, positive development of natural qualities and abilities. Again, it goes back to trusting your natural, given, born, or talents that you have worked hard on to hone and to become expert at. All right. So, quick overview of all of that since we're at 20 minutes. I try to keep my videos 15 minutes or less. It never happens because there's just always so much going on in the skies, guys. But the overview of all this is all the action in this chart's heavily weighted in Pisces and Aries. So anybody with that sun or a lot of placements with Aries and Pisces, this is going to affect you the most. Everything will seem very quick because the planets are so close together. All of the interactions and all of the transits and all of the energy that this is creating over this new moon is going to be very quick. It will happen quickly. It will get resolved quickly. It will get hashed out. It will be said. It will be spoken. It will be done. So there might be a rushed feeling to all of this, and also the energy will be very draining, as most new moons are. So be sure to take care of yourself, ground yourself, sleep, get a lot of good rest, drink a lot of water, okay, diffuse, meditate, pray, whatever it is that you do. Certainly new moons, put your crystals out if you need to, but I sage my home during new moons and I charge my crystals under full moons. Venus and Aries, again, the problem, but soon to go retrograde, so a chance to go back and fix or revisit and rework some issues from that Venus and Aries transit. Saturn in Pisces is making us feel the pain and forcing us to slow down and actually deal with issues. All right. So again, diffuse my blend Dreamweaver, sage your home, take care of yourselves. You can find my Dreamweaver blend at Maker's Market in Georgetown. You can find it at Stonehenge Sage. I believe there is a bottle there. If not, you can order it from my website, essentiallygenevieve.com, or you can contact me if you're local, inbox me, message me directly, and I will meet you somewhere with it. All right, guys? Till next time, blessed be, namaste, all that good stuff. Enjoy our new moon in Pisces. Take care.